when looking at sum and difference of cubes, it's often a good time to start with sum and difference of squares. So when we're looking at sum and difference of squares, first thing we always have to look at is if I were to factor x squared minus 25, we'd have x minus 5, x plus 5. Okay, so here, this is going to be y minus 6, y plus 6. So in general, you're going to have a minus b, a plus b. Okay, the middle term is always going to go away based on the factor. Okay, again here, we're going to have 4y squared minus 9x and 4y squared plus 9x. All I'm doing is square rooting the first and the last. Again, we've got general x minus y, x plus y. Okay, sum and difference of cubes is very similar. We're actually going to follow more of a formula. We're going to figure out that formula by doing long division. Okay, now I wouldn't ask you to do long division any other time, but when we're looking at this, so if we do x minus y, so in all of these cases, I always divide it by the minus because of the value there. So we're going to do minus y. Okay, so x minus y. So it's going to be a really long, hard division here. So we've got x cubed, okay? And now we're going to get a bunch of y's. So plus 0 x squared y plus 0 xy squared, or minus y cubed. Okay, so now when we work through here, we're going to times the first term by x squared. We get x cubed. Whoop, let's fix that. And then minus x squared y. When we subtract them, you're subtracting a negative, so it becomes x squared y. Bring down the 0xy squared. So really nothing comes down, but it's always easier to have that value there just so we can see it. Okay, so now we're multiplying, so plus, this time we have to multiply by xy. Okay, so we get x squared y minus xy squared. So here we're going to get, again, we've subtracted, so it's going to be a plus xy squared, and we're going to bring down y cubed. Well, to get this value, we have to multiply by y squared. So that becomes xy squared minus y cubed, which is 0. So therefore, x cubed minus y cubed equals x minus y times x squared plus xy plus y squared. In general, now this is a formula that you should memorize. You should know this. If we have this difference of cubes, the first bracket is the same sign, difference, difference. The second bracket is going to be all pluses. Okay, that's our general form. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing with sum of cubes. Rather than having a plus in the or a minus in the front like we do here, we're going to start with a plus. So x plus y. X cubed plus 0x squared y plus 0 xy squared plus y cubed. Okay, so then we have x squared, we multiply that down, get x cubed. I don't know why I keep making it a squared, let's make it look nice, plus x squared y. when we subtract, we get negative x squared y. Now this is going to change the sign in our second bracket. So we get xy. So again, we should bring down that plus 0 xy squared. Oh, so now we've got negative x squared y minus xy squared. Now we're going to have a plus again because we're subtracting a minus. Xy squared plus y cubed because we've brought the y cubed down. We did long division here. So then we get plus y squared. Multiply that out. We get a remainder of 0. So now we're all done. So here we can say, therefore, the sum of these cubes is equal to x plus y, and then x squared minus xy plus y squared. So in general, we've got a plus b. Again, the sign is the same. A squared minus ab, the sign is different, plus b squared. Okay, now I say the sign is different. In the second bracket, the sign is different in both cases. We've got a minus up at the top, and we've got a plus in the second bracket. We've got, in this one, we've got a plus at the top, we've got a minus, and then a plus in the second bracket. Okay, the biggest thing is to establish what your a value and what your b value are. The first few examples are kind of easy, but you should get in the habit of just doing this. And your a value and your b value are always the cubed root of whatever you're looking at. So here, the cubed root of 27x cubed is 3x. So my a value is 3x. My b value is 5. Now I'm just going to follow that formula. This is a sum of cubes, so I'm going to follow this formula exactly. So I'm going to have 3x plus 5 times 3x squared plus 3x times 5 plus 5 squared. And then I'm just going to simplify that. 3x plus 5, 9x squared plus 15x plus 25. Okay, and now you can check to see if you can factor that, and this one doesn't factor. Okay, so I would be all done. All right, so let's look at the next one. One thing that we should look at here is we can actually divide out a 7x first. Now if I divide out a 7x, I get x cubed, and 448 divided by 7 is going to give me 64. So now in that second bracket, my a value is x, my b value is going to be 4. So then I'm going to have 7x. Now this is a difference. So we've got x minus 4, and x squared is just x squared plus 4x plus 16. Okay. Now looking at this next one. This next one's a little bit harder, but we've got two screens that are the same. But we can work through it slowly. We actually have 3 screens that are the same there. This one, our a value. Okay, now what you have to remember is that if we were to do our a value, the cubed root of that is really x to the 9 to the 1/3, which is x to the 3. Okay, a lot of people struggle with that. If you're ever confused and there's an exponent that you don't know what the cube root is, just put it to the 1/3 and then multiply your exponents. Okay, our b value, the cube root of 512 is 8. Okay, now I'm just going to follow my formula. So we've got x cubed minus 8, and then x cubed squared plus x cubed times 8 plus 8 cubed. Now that second bracket's going to work itself out. We're going to multiply everything together and figure out what our values are. But the first bracket is what that's not a cubed at the end there, that's a squared. The first bracket is what we actually have to look at, because we have another difference of cubes right here. Okay, and now our new a value is x, and our b value is 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to write out that second bracket, because we're going to stop using it. So that second bracket is x to the 6 plus 8x cubed, and then plus 64. But now this bracket, I'll leave it the same color. This bracket is going to come over here, and what we're going to have is x minus 2, and then x squared, and we've got plus 2 times x plus 4. Okay, now we could rearrange this whole thing. It's probably a little bit nicer if we were to write it x minus 2, x squared plus 2x plus 4, and then x to the 6 plus 8x cubed plus 64. But this second line, we've found all of the factors. We've simplified everything. Everything's written in, so that last line would be fine. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult, but it all comes down to the two formulas. The sum of cubes formula with the plus, minus, plus, and the difference of cubes formula with the